Another day, another opportunity. We're back with another YouTube vlog. Back from work, back from the overnight shift. Getting back home again. We're going to do some preparation and stretch, work out a little bit. A lot of these days, man, I just typically haven't been going to the gym myself. Just been doing what I can at the crib, whatever minimal work it is that I have. I usually have a weighted dumbbell that I can use, or a weighted kettlebell, I should say, where I have a chain where I would attach that chain around the kettlebell, and now I just do pull-ups, standard variations, things like that. I mean, it doesn't get any more simpler than that. If I'm focusing on tension, building my best physique, losing weight, I mean, everything is really focused on you, the individual, and making sure whatever you are doing is working. And how do you know if what you're doing is working? You can look at your repetition, the amount of reps you're doing, the amount of sets you're doing, what's your recovery like? Maybe the duration too is important. Are you resting longer? Are you resting shorter times? And your performance is increasing based off on that. Many things you can look at to lose weight. And the most busy men who have it rough, who can't seem to lose weight, who can't seem to lose their office desk gut, tend to not maximize the amount of opportunities in their day, whether that's done by walking, whether that's done by picking better snacks when you're on the road or when you're in your workplace. There's so many distractions. There's so many terrible opportunities that most working men make that in hindsight affects your weight loss goal more than you will ever think or ever know. So I think understanding that is the most important thing, especially if you're trying to lose weight. Keep it off and do it in a way where it's effortless and it's seamless. Weight loss is never easy. It should be a process where it's done in a way strategically where you can gradually lose weight. A client of mine said it himself. It's best if the process that you're going through is done gradually than if it's done in a means to just expedite the process. You never want to think about speeding things up in terms of losing weight. You only want to think about doing it slow, keeping it gradual, and building momentum on top of that. It's a very powerful thing, and it's what will lead to long-term weight loss. So when I get back home, of course, walking is something that everyone should be doing. It's free. You can go outside and do it. It's very minimal. All you have to do is literally apply yourself. And if you can do that on a regular basis, I mean, losing weight is going to be a relatively easy thing for you to do. And for me, it's just about showing up in the multitude of ways made possible. I look at social media the exact same way. There's so many distractions. There's so many things that's going to stop you from not showing up, and you still have to show up. You still have to show up for yourself. And it's one of the most challenging things that the most working men are going to face in weight loss, in them seeing their abs for the first time in probably years, and ultimately reaching their best selves. You believe it or not, most men will live their life 40 pounds overweight, 30 pounds overweight, 50 pounds overweight, and think it's completely acceptable. That's not a way or mindset you should live and approach life approach life it. You shouldn't approach life that way. If you're overweight, lose the weight. I mean, I don't know what kind of saying or phrase or mindset or way of life dictates that if you're overweight, it's okay to be that way. It's never okay. And the only reason where people begin to take their health more seriously is if they become more susceptible to bigger health complications in the world. And now it's oh, if I don't lose this weight, it could potentially or seriously, it could seriously affect my health. So knowing these things, bro, it's incredibly important. And if you don't understand that, then man, you're going to be in for a lot of pain, a lot of suffering, and just trying to keep a few pounds off. Weight loss shouldn't be a process where you look at it and think of it as a mundane process. I say it all the time, bro. You should be in this for the process. You should never be in this for the result. The result will show as a byproduct of you leaning into the process. That's how it's done. So if you can understand that intuitively, man, understand these things and just show up in a way that's fluid, it's consistent, and it works for you, not for your neighbor, not for your friend, not for your family. It works for you. Yeah, that's when weight loss begins to flow. It begins to happen. It works because you're following a process that works for you, not against you. So These are things you got to look into, man, and understand that if you don't find what works best for you in every aspect of your life, like, it makes the goal a lot more difficult to realize, man. Can't stress that enough. You gotta show up for yourself in a way that is so consistent, show up in a way that is so fluid, show up in a way that reinforces your actions towards weight loss. If you can do that continuously, effortlessly, if you can do that in a way where it helps you, you will get there. It takes time for you to build a habit. That takes time. It's said that it takes 90 days for you to build upon a habit. And well, 90 days is a long time. So for Brandon and my clients of mine, the process for him at first was a little bit mundane. For Brandon, the process was a little bit mundane, all right, because he was just starting. So he wasn't really, he didn't really find his lane, his movement, his area of stillness. Took time. It's not a bad thing for him. It just means it takes time for you to build upon a habit. That is a good thing. In long term, it's going to allow you to adapt. It's going to allow you to stick towards the process and just be more fluid, be more consistent, and not focus on the result, man. Too many people are focused on the result when they should be focused on the process. That's exactly what an individual once said to me about content creation. Focus on the process, process-driven behavior over the result, result-minded thinking. If you can do that, you win. Process-driven behavior. That's what it boils down to. And work ethic too. Yeah. You gotta show up for yourself in a way that is so demanding that the goal inevitably happens. A lot of us don't show up in a way that is a need or do or die way mentality to rise or live. It's if I feel like losing weight today, I'll start. I think my job got in the way. Maybe I'll work out tomorrow when it's more convenient in my schedule. A lot of distractions, excuses, ways of life, that is going to deter you from not seeing any progress on the scale. It's imperative that you look at your entire life, your schedule, what goes on in and outside of your work life. All right. And really be objective about it. Don't really look at it subjectively where you can look at it as a way to formulate excuses. Look at it as a way to objectively find patterns of excuses or patterns of inaction and find ways around it. That is extremely important because it will reduce the amount of excuses that you will feed yourself. It will reduce the amount of opportunities you will tell yourself you can't when you can. And it's just going to enable you to realize that goal a lot more sooner, a lot more visually, mentally. Weight loss is all about one thing: calories in versus calories out. If you can effectively burn more calories in a day versus what you expend or what you consume, that's all weight loss is. That's all it will ever be. That's it. That's all. I appreciate you all for tuning in. If you got any insight or learned anything new or relevant you can apply to your life, man, go follow. Drop that subscribe button to this page below for more ways you can rate your calorie deficit and keep weight off for good.